Hi, Angel. Good to see you.
Likewise, likewise. Good to see you. So we are here today because we've been receiving a lot of messages from our C-level counterparts online on LinkedIn and other sources and other meetings and gatherings that we organize almost every single week. And if you had to summarize, what's top of mind right now of most of the C-level executives in the organizations in the world regarding of the industry, what would you say?
Angel, other than some of the obvious ones like Amazon and Apple and some of the digital companies who are doing very well under the current situation, the significant majority of companies are just focusing on preserving capital, staying afloat, not running out of cash, and just re-engineering the way they do things.
And obviously we know that most of the companies, most of the industries are also have gone from working face-to-face to working remote. So yes, that actually increases, that makes the entire equation a little bit more complicated, right? Because people are working remotely. Yeah. So is there a way in which preserving capital, in which mitigating risk could be done in a more efficient way with everybody working remotely today?
Yeah, I really believe that there is a way of doing this. It's lonely out there. And when people are out there sitting in front of a computer screen on their own, it's very hard to connect what they do to what the shareholders look at. The shareholders are interested in one thing: demonstrate sustainable profits and cash flow, okay? And demonstrate sustainable profits and cash flow, and demonstrate to me how we can stay alive at this point in time. Normally, we're looking at a trajectory. How can we increase profits and cash flow? Today, I think we want to sustain profits and cash flow, but the employees are an extension of the CEO's promise to the board and to the shareholders. So in answer to your question, people are sitting in front of a computer screen, working from home, maybe working through some kind of virtual connection as we are doing here. It's very lonely out there. How do you really get them focused on connecting their activities to shareholder expectation? That comes with education. And another issue here, Angel, is that people tend to think of numbers in isolation. They tend to have silo thinking. So for example, people focus on increasing sales. But I like to use the expression, so what? Sales are up and we're busy, but what about operating costs? What about operating capital? What about cash flow? And if everybody understood the financial implications of what they did without thinking in a silo and could think the bigger picture, I really believe, and I've experienced this over and over again, that people's behavior and the way they think would actually change.
In the last 25 years, you've trained more than 20,000 business operators and C-level executives in corporations all over the world of many different sizes, many different industries. Yeah. If you had to say that's something that they all have in common when you start working with them, what would you say you see? Do you think that in the beginning, everybody is aware of the consequences, of the implications of their decisions on a daily basis?
Oh my word. I've tested thousands and thousands and thousands of people across the board, from entrepreneurs to C-level executives to CEOs of companies. And in my experience, non-financial operators and organizations are less than 40% financially literate, even at a basic level. Just what is the role of a P&L, balance sheet, some simple questions. Less than 40% financially literate. Can you imagine if people don't understand the financial implications of what they do and they work in a silo? Can you imagine how much profit is slipping through the cracks? And because basically they don't know what they don't know. It's a huge problem in organizations, Angel, across the board.
Let me ask you a tricky question.
Yeah.
How many people in an organization do have signing power in their bank accounts?
When I do workshops, and sometimes I speak at conferences and ask people to show me on their fingers, how many people have signing power, and they say 1, 5, 3. I said, you're all wrong. Everybody has signing power on your bank account. Your employees are the custodians of your company's profits, and they are an extension, in effect, of the pen that is signing the checks. The time that check gets signed, it's too late. So what are you going to do? Go back and tell someone, well, I'm not going to pay for this labor cost because we screwed up and to do a rework on our job, or you overpaid a vendor, or we were inefficient. It's not going to happen. It's too late. You've got to deal with this at the root of the issue, not when you sign the checks. So yeah, everybody should have a clear understanding, especially now when they're working on with limited resources and cash availability. Now, especially, people should be aware of it and incentivize them accordingly.
We are right now talking about being the custodians of the profitability of their own company. Mm-hmm. But do you think that knowing that every single company out there is trying to, preserve capital and mitigate risk, do you think that sales forces right now, the sales forces in the world, are mindful enough about preserving their clients' company capital and mitigating their clients' companies' risks?
Great question. The answer clearly is absolutely not. I've often suggested to business operators, owners, to have this conversation with their salespeople and make a statement something like this: the moment you make a sale, you are part of your customer's problem. And people look at me like, how can you say that? I said, it's easy. Because the sale represents revenues on your financial statements and an expense on your customer's financial statements. And it is incumbent upon a professional salesperson to demonstrate how the cost on their P&L, the customer's P&L, what the service that you're offering, the contribution will equal or exceed the cost on their P&L. And until that happens, you are part of their problem. So in fact, I believe that salespeople should be rewarded on the profit or the ROI made on your products in their company, never mind your own company. Now we're talking.
Is it fair to hold the sales force, the salespeople accountable right now because of their lack of knowledge of this?
No, it's simply not reasonable. I mean, one cannot reasonably hold people accountable if you don't engage them and educate them. It's not reasonable. They're working in a silo. They're working blind. It's like walking towards a cliff with your eyes closed. So how can you expect people to make fiscally responsible decisions when they're actually completely naive? I mean, you ask people, how much volume must you sell when you discount? I can count on my one hand out of the tens of thousands of people I've trained. How many people give me the right answer? It's something as simple as that. Forget the discounting like crazy to get more business.
For the people that would like to continue the conversation with you, what's the best way to reach out to you, Neville?
Oh, just email me. I love having these conversations, in case you didn't notice. So it's Neville, Neville, at bizwisdom.com, bizwisdom.com. Contact me. I'd love to have a conversation with you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Neville, for being with us today.
You're very welcome, Angel. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure that you have enjoyed this conversation with Neville Joffe as much as we have, the CEO of Biz Wisdom. Thank you for being here with us today, and hope to see you soon in our next interaction with Mr. Neville Joffe. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye now.